I used to hate my husband, but now I think I'm in love with him. We got married because our families arranged it when we were kids. I was 19, he was 20. We had met exactly twice before the wedding. Once at a dinner where both our families sat around a table pretending this was all completely normal, and once at a formal meeting where they basically had us shake hands and agree to ruin each other's lives. I know that sounds dramatic, but that's genuinely how I felt walking down the aisle. The night of our wedding, he sat on the edge of the bed and said, "I know you didn't choose this. I didn't either. So let's just be honest with each other." I remember staring at him, waiting for the manipulation, waiting for the part where he told me what he actually wanted, but he just sat there, calm, straightforward. Then he said we could live however we needed to as long as we were decent to each other in public and didn't make each other's lives harder than they already were. I agreed, but I still resented him. Not because he was cruel. He wasn't. Not because he was selfish. He didn't seem to be. I resented him because he existed. Because his existence meant I didn't get a choice about my own life. I knew that wasn't fair. Feelings aren't always fair. We lived like roommates for almost 2 years. Polite at dinner, distant in the evenings. I cooked on weekdays. He handled weekends. He took out the trash. I handled the mail. We split every bill down the middle and kept a shared spreadsheet like two people running a small business instead of a marriage. It worked. Fine in the way that something can technically function while still feeling completely hollow. I had my own life. Went out with friends, dated a little, nothing serious. He worked long hours, came home late, kept to himself. We were two strangers who happened to share a last name and a mortgage. Then one night my car broke down during a rainstorm 40 minutes from home. I was coming back from a work event. Late, maybe 10:30. Rain coming down so hard I could barely see the road. The car just died. No warning light, no strange sound, just nothing. I pulled over, called roadside assistance, and sat on the curb in the dark waiting. It was one of those moments where you feel completely alone in a way that has nothing to do with who's around you. I wasn't scared exactly, just tired. Tired of handling everything by myself. Tired of pretending I was fine with the life I had ended up in. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes. Then his car pulled up behind me. He didn't call first, didn't text, just appeared. Got out in the rain, walked over without rushing like the weather wasn't even happening, and handed me his jacket. Didn't say anything, just held it out until I took it. Then he walked to the tow truck driver who had just arrived, handled everything, gave them my number for the follow-up, and came back and said, "Come on, let's go home." I got in the car. We drove in silence for a while, and then I asked him how he knew where I was. I hadn't called him, hadn't texted. There was no reason he should have known. He was quiet for a second. Then he said my location was still shared with him from a trip we took for his cousin's wedding almost 2 years ago. Said he noticed it was still on a few weeks after we got back. Said he almost turned it off. Actually opened the app to do it more than once. Never did. I didn't respond. I just looked out the window at the rain, but something shifted that night. It wasn't romantic yet. It was more like I had been carrying around a version of him in my head, this symbol of everything I didn't get to choose, and I was suddenly looking at an actual person instead. A person who drove 40 minutes in a rainstorm without being asked. After that, things were different. Nothing dramatic, but the distance got smaller. We started actually talking at dinner instead of just existing in the same room. He asked me real questions. What did I want to do with my career? What did I actually enjoy on weekends? What food did I grow up eating that I missed? Nobody had asked me questions like that in years. I started noticing small things. The way he always made enough coffee for two even on mornings I slept in. The way he remembered I hated the overhead light in the kitchen and started leaving the small lamp on instead. The way he never once made me feel guilty for the arrangement we had, or the life we were both just trying to get through. A few weeks after the rainstorm, he sent me a meme. Stupid thing. Totally random. Exactly the kind of joke I would send my closest friend. I laughed. Actually laughed. Then I sat there staring at my phone with this strange feeling in my chest I didn't want to look at too closely. I texted back. We went back and forth for almost an hour. I fell asleep smiling and woke up the next morning feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time, and I had absolutely no idea what to do with that.